Okay, welcome everyone. Thanks for coming. People come from far and wide. We appreciate it very, very much. Okay, so we are in the Pesach season. Pesach is next on deck. Do you remember as a kid watching Sesame Street? Yeah, Sesame Street, anyone? Yeah. You're from Israel. Rehov Tzum Tzum.
Absolutely, yes.
Betach.
I'm from Italy, but yes.
Okay, in Italy maybe they had it too, yeah. Okay, so every episode of Sesame Street said this week is brought to you by a number and I think a letter, right? Was that right? So that's going to be tonight. We're going to look at the number 3, the number 15, the letter Yud, and the letter Hey. That's going to be our journey tonight. I have a lot to tell you. We could spend a long time just on each one of those letters and each one of those numbers, but I want to just condense it down because time is short. Okay, so let's begin by discussing the number 15, okay? And the relevance to Pesach, which we're going to see it has a great relevance to. Actually, let me ask you, what do we see on Pesach that is represented by the number 15? The day Pesach starts. That's good. 15 steps of the Pesach Seder. 15 steps of the Pesach Seder. Okay? You got to do all 15. It's not okay just to stop like many people do at Birkat Hamazon. They eat and then they go to bed. There's bits after that as well. We have 15 steps you have to get through. What does the number 15 represent? And the way to figure that out, we're going to have to find the number 15 elsewhere in Jewish life. And we're going to find it in a place, and we're going to find it as part of the Siddur. Okay? So let's try to do it together. It's a tricky one. You're going to have to dig a little bit deeper in order to find it. Is there a place where we saw the number 15 appear? A place, a makom, a physical location where the number 15 was represented by something. I'll give you a clue. It's to do with the Bet Hamikdash, the temple in Jerusalem. There were 15 steps. 15 steps, the Gemara tells us, that led into the Bet Hamikdash. And on the 15 steps, there were 15 Kohanim, and maybe 15 Leviim as well. And they would bring musical instruments and sing as people would go up those 15 steps into the Bet HaMikdash. Imagine that. That's how you entered. We should have every synagogue, right? You should have a little band outside playing for you as you enter inside the Bet Knesset. Maybe not on Shabbat, but definitely during the week. And what would they sing? Tehillim. Which Tehillim were they singing? Well, when the first Beit HaMikdash, I'm not sure, because it didn't exist yet, but David HaMelech did exist before. And David HaMelech wrote 100, we didn't write 150 Psalms, there are 150 Psalms inside Tehillim. He edited many of them written by other people, Avraham, Adam Rishon, Bnei Korach, many other people authored, but we know for sure there were 15 that he authored himself, and they are called the Shir HaMa'alot sequence. There are 15 of the Psalms that start with Shir HaMa'alot. And those were the 15 that the Jewish people used to enter into the Beit HaMikdash, walk up 15 steps, hearing these 15 Psalms with all the musical instruments, and the 15 Kohanim and Leviim will be there playing on each step as you would enter inside. So what does 15 represent? Let's have a look at the letters, Yud and Hey. Yud is 10, Hey is 5, Chamsa. Put those together, you get 15. But you don't get the full name of Hashem. The full name of Hashem is a Yud with a Hey and a Vav and a Hey. So Yud and Hey, those two letters when combined, represent a godliness, but not the entire thing. It's only halfway there. So 15 is always going to represent, listen carefully, we're going to just mention this, then we'll move on to the number 3, is going to represent the entry point to something better and greater. It's something going to get you from one place to another. It's not the thing itself. 15 is always going to represent that which gets you from point A to point B. It's the journey in between. It's the steps of going inside. It's the psalms that get you from one place to another. It's the music that was played to lead you inside. So the 15 steps of the Pesach Seder are there as a way to get you to the end of the Pesach Seder, which is why you need to do all 15 steps, because that's going to get you right to the end to bring the whole Pesach Seder together. But there's another 15, which I did find. I'm sure you guys have your own. But there's one more I found, and it must be connected. I've not found the connection, but when I tell you what it is, it'll be like, it's actually in the Siddur. There is a Sephardi minhag custom of saying the letter Vav 15 times and articulate this letter Vav very well. Does anyone know what that is? So before the Amidah, after the Shema, in the morning, there are 15 words right after the Shema, Shacharit, right? Right. Those 15 words start with the letter Vav. 15 of them. And you have to, and if you look at the commentary, many of these Sephardi Siddurim, the good ones, the good Sephardi Siddurim, will say, make sure you articulate the Vavs clearly. Interesting, what does the letter Vav, what does the word of Vav mean? There's a word. Vav spells Vav. So it means the letter, but there's actually a word, a two-letter word, that is Vav. And what is that? A hook. That's why the letter Vav means and. When you attach the Vav to a word, it means and. So it's hooking that which comes before it to the word it's attached to. And this and that. So there's no word and, there's only a Vav, right? So now you have the Vav connecting. So you have 15 Vavs that are connected. What are they connecting? 15 times. Shema to the Amidah. 15 times the Shema is now connected to the Amidah. You need those 15 steps, those 15 hooks to get you from one to the other. And that is why what's it called? You're not allowed to interrupt between the Shema and the Amidah. What's that called? You have to be somech, tefillah, to geula, prayer to redemption. Tefillah legeula. So that happens with the Amidah. You go straight through, Ga'al, geula to tefillah, I'm sorry. Geula to tefillah. You go geula, straight to tefillah. From Gal Yisrael, and you can't make any separation because the 15 steps have led you right in. So just saying the Shema is not enough. Right? You think it's enough, it's Torah mitzvah. Not enough. And you can't just say the words in between. You've actually got to go into the Amidah as well, because the Amidah is your destination. So the 15 takes you there as well. Only half of Hashem's name does not take you over there. Okay, with that in mind, we know that we're going to have to have 15 steps of the Pesach Seder. I'm going to go through a little bit later those 15 steps. We'll just run through them so we know roughly what's going on with them, and maybe we'll figure out why they are so important, why we need all 15 of them. But I want to jump to the number 3. The number 3 features at the Pesach Seder as well, as does the number 4, actually. Maybe we should say 3 and 4. 3 is a little unfair. What are some of the 3s we see at the Pesach Seder?
The 3 things we need to mention.
Pesach, matzah, or maror. You got that, right? Pesach, matzah, or maror. If you don't say those 3, you are not yodei chavato. You haven't fulfilled your obligation. That's good. Any of the 3? Who said that? Excellent. 3 matzot. We have 3 matzot on the Pesach Seder table. Right? It's actually part of the Seder activities. What do these 3 matzot represent? Three matzot represent 3 avot: Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. So that kind of hinted at over there. Because in the merit of Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, we got out of Egypt. They also represent 3 types of Jew. Sephardi, Ashkenaz. No, I'm joking. Maybe I'm not. Kohen, Levi, Yisrael. The 3 main groupings among the Jewish people. Very, very good. The number 4, to be fair, does appear a bunch of times as well. We have 4 cups of wine. We have 4 arba banim, dibra, haTorah, 4 sons who ask 4 questions. Yeah, each one his own question. So the number 4 does feature quite prominently as well. And of course, that 4 is also going to represent the Imahot, the 4 mothers, right? F-O-R-E, mothers, the 4 mothers, okay, who came before, the matriarchs, okay? Interesting. What's better, the number 3 or the number 4? In numerology, in Torah numerology, which is better, the number 3 or the number 4?
What do you mean by better?
That's a fair question. What's considered greater? Let's just go with that.
I guess if one is not 3.
Okay, it's hard to articulate this without giving the answer. But if I were to give you a rope of 3 strands or 4 strands, which is stronger? Maybe that's a better word, stronger. Right, the 4 is obviously right. A table of 3 legs is better than a table of 4 legs? No, you need 4 legs. 4 legs is definitely more stable. 3 is the minimum. 3 is the minimum. 4 is always going to represent longevity, okay, a long time. 3-legged table is the minimum, right? 2 legs are going to fall over, okay? But 3 legs is the minimum, like design, okay? And 4 legs is going to, they say that if a strong wind comes, the 4-legged table has got a much higher chance of, so that's why you have to have 4 mothers. And a 4-stranded rope is going to take more pressure and strain than a 3-corded rope. That's the famous comment of Chazal. I want to talk to you a little bit of depth that we did with 15, which doesn't take us too long, but I want to talk about the number 3 and possibly 4 as well.